April 20th has for years been a day of protest and politics for proponents of pot. Today was no exception, but the focus of the protest changed this year. Ali Shahsan joins us live from Yonge Dundas Square. And Ali, usually it's a call for legalization. Well, today it's a call to end prosecutions for possession.
Yes, today the vibe was pretty split. People say they feel a lot freer and that their long fight is over. But I'll tell you who doesn't really feel so free. The hundreds of people who were charged in those dispensary raids. And we caught up with a few of them today who were here at 420. And they're taking cues from the likes of Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot himself, to keep fighting and keep smoking. Have a listen.
So we got charged with possession with intent to traffic, and what was the other one? Proceeds.
Possession proceeds of crime.
They're not going to drop any of our charges, even with legislation going through. Anybody who has charges now, they won't be dropped, even if we still have those charges once the legislation is passed.
We should have pardons for all past convictions. We should have an acknowledgement that what the government did was wrong. We need to have a moratorium right now on all charges, including even trafficking charges. If there's nothing. They say the law is the law, but if the law is wrong, the law is in disrepute. And the government should never do that. They should never invite people to have contempt for the law.
And Ali, Mark Emery has a vested interest here. He's facing charges himself. Back in court tomorrow?
Yep. Yeah, he is. And so I wanted to invite a lawyer here today to learn a little bit more about what is happening with these cases, because Daniel Kayfetz is representing a few people from people who are facing, for some people who are facing trafficking charges and also a lot of these minor possession charges. And I wanted to know whether legalization has affected some of the court proceedings. And he tells us that he's seeing a lot more deals being made with that person who is in trouble, where they can agree to doing some customer service and their record is then wiped clean. But when it comes to the more serious trafficking charges, well, that is going to be much more difficult to fight. Just have a listen to what this lawyer has to say.
My experience has been that they're given a ticket. It looks like a traffic ticket in Highway Traffic Act. They go down to court, their fingerprints are not taken, they're not really arrested, they're really charged. And then when they go to court, they are made an offer that if you go to community service or make a donation or something like that, then the charge will be, it's called diverted. It means it's withdrawn. Somebody's got a file on it somewhere, but you get no criminal record, there's no fingerprints. What's happened now is, with regard to trafficking in marijuana, it's more like business than it is a crime, and we're upset that people are going into business without being licensed and without the government getting there yet. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't see them jailing these hundreds of clerks that they're picking up because they're not criminals. They are just people working for a paycheck in a place where they need a job.
So where some people can still run into trouble is actually at the U.S. border, where some of these deals might actually look like a guilty plea anyway, so they might not be allowed into the U.S. border. So there's still a lot to be figured out with the legislation, of course. It looks like it's a little bit more strict in the United States still, so we'll have to see how many people will still be able to go across the border without these records from these charges. But locally here, Dwight, 420 wraps up as a celebration. It's a good time out here, it seems like. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ali.